Creating a photo book is something really exciting and special, because it's the final result. Once I printed a photo, I cannot change it anymore, not like in Lightroom. I want to create a photo book that is not just laying around. I want to allow other people to relive a past moment, and I want to let them see what I saw. I share with you 3 basic tips that I use to make the most out of my photo books. Each time I try to create some photo sets to tell even more with my pictures, to create a story. If I want to, for example, show my last hiking experience, I would collect different images that I took throughout this trip and put them together so that you can see how dark it was, how the crazy cloud formation was in the sunrise, or how much light pollution there was because of the city. So photo sets is one thing that I do. Creating an outline is the second thing that I do. An outline helps me to make sure that every picture is fit together to create a cohesive story. In my opinion, it's important for the viewer to be able to relive this moment. For example, just as I experienced the smooth transition from day to night, I want to deliver that feeling to the viewer as well. So basically what that means is that I try to avoid some really strong changes between color and style of the photographs. In my opinion, that can quickly interrupt the flow of the viewer, and that is something that I don't want. For me, a good way to do that is, for example, the reference tool in Lightroom. It makes it quite easy. You can just select a photo as a reference and showcase it directly next to the photo that you're currently editing. So you can make sure that the colors are accurate, that they fit together, and also that the brightness level is quite the same. If you don't use Lightroom or you don't have an editing program, you also can just basically throw them on a Word document. You can put them next to each other to see how it looks or how it feels. And if you are more the manual person, you can also just go to your next shopping mall and you can print yourself some little prints like these ones here. And you can just put them next to each other to see how they look and what kind of feeling you have when you look at them. The next thing I learned is adjusting the brightness. That's quite important. If I'm chilling and editing in a dark room, my screen is most likely darker adjusted than it would be when I'm editing during daylight, because it's otherwise just too bright, because my light around me is more dark. I use the histogram to make sure that I find the sweet spot for my needs. Histogram is not an old form of Instagram that your grandpa used to showcase his photos. Oh my god, was that bad? The histogram is the little graphic that your editing program or your camera displays you in the bottom or on the top, depending on your camera. It shows you how much dark areas you have in the photo and how much bright areas you have in the photo. You can basically split that even more. You can say you have all your darks, you have all your blacks, you have your exposure, then you have your lights and your whites. Some people also like to overexpose their photos, for example, like I do with my Fujifilm when I do the film simulations. Then of course you have a lot of peaks on the right side and not that much on the left. So these are my 3 basic tips that I try to be aware of each time when I create a photo book. And there's one thing more: try to take a little bit of time before you send the photos to the print lab. There's nothing more depressing than receiving a picture that is way too dark or way too bright. So make sure that you take a little bit of time for the review. That's it for today, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.